How are you this evening?
Gets any better, it'll be illegal, and we'll do it anyway.
Oh, absolutely. So you've actually been through quite a trying time. What is it that kept you going? What made you say one more day?
Can I tell you one thing?
Sure.
It's right here. It's in this butterfly.
Alrighty.
You know, I had a vision when I already had studied principles, these principles that I know work, the principles of Dr. Napoleon Hill, of all of these, let's just say, callings that others have told us, great teachers have told us, and yet we divert from that. But when my late husband passed away, when his last breath came and I was holding his hand, I closed my eyes and I was transported somewhere, and it was filled with butterflies and a kaleidoscope of color in what I would term as the worst moment in my entire life. And yet I felt a rush of peace. Now, how could that be logical? It was logical because when I opened my eyes, I thought I was there for hours, but it was a matter of seconds.
Wow.
And I knew that there's a bigger picture. And so I kissed really the shell of the man that I had been married to, and I knew I was left with a bankrupt company. I knew I was left with 3 children. I knew I couldn't pay the mortgage. I knew there were all sorts of problems, and I would have to face them. But I didn't recognize it as that anymore. I was transformed. And these teachings talk to us all about that. So when I speak to you of the butterfly, I truly am feeling as though I were the caterpillar, but I knew the secret. And I didn't necessarily have to go into a cocoon first, and none of us do. We can actually transform much quicker than we've been taught if we just know the truth that we all are exactly that gift.
Now, you also had a little bit of opposition toward the growth when you came into the company and you said, I'm going to do this.
Oh, gosh,
so
yeah.
how did you stay true to yourself?
Well, what a beautiful question. Thank you. And I do feel I did do that. And I could see what could happen with not only this firm, that they had a gift to take to the world, but also the beautiful people that work there. The people who were putting their children into school, who were going home and putting dinner on the table. And I went to them and I said, please, could you tell me how we could do our job better? They are not a 2-tier society corporation. We have an open door policy, and please bring to us all of your suggestions. And so it wasn't just me, it was never me. It was a coming together of all of these beautiful souls, and that's what this is with the launch of 3 Feet from Gold. It's a coming together of all the beautiful souls. All the energy here, which I like to think of as a positive tsunami.
Oh, nice.
Global.
Oh, awesome.
Is happening right here. We're starting the winds of, let's call it change, but positive change. Because we're saying, well, listen, these people keep saying this. And we've heard this over and over. I know I had heard it, but I still got caught up in a pity party or maybe doom and glooming my situation, and then I catch myself and go back to the principles and go back to the teachings. And as soon as I did, man, it happened fast. It happened fast. Within 2.5 years, and for me to go into a male-dominated industry, and I was a little pageant girl, and people say, oh my gosh, we're doomed. But then they looked at it again because 1 or 2 said, no, she's the ideal consumer. She's who we're going after. Because again, people do not necessarily walk in our moccasins. We have a tendency to label. But I was working with labels, it was a product. It was a product in a food store. And so if you're working with a label, if people put a label on you, I say relax. Love it. Relax, you're already perfect. It's a great book.
Awesome.
Friend of
And
mine.
do you have special advice for women who have to perhaps work a little harder to get that 3 feet toward their goal?
Yes, thank God for that. You know, everything we need to feel that we've had to work a little harder for, the gift's that much bigger. I always think in terms of this too shall prepare me. And everything carries within it a seed for good. And if we can search for that seed for good and not, you know, what I like to call black dot syndrome. So you be in an art gallery and you see a magnificent painting. But it's well, there's a little speck of dust, like right there. Someone should have cleaned that. Where are you putting your focus? And I'm saying, oh, please know that you have such a great gift, and we need you to take it to the world because there's power in numbers. And this book is an appeal for all of us to take our gifts to the world. I took mine in the best way I knew how, and I'm going to continue to do that. It's only just begun. But here we are, and yes, there's testimonials that this works. There's testimonials, there's actual, let's just say paperwork to support it. But at the same time, it's an exchange. All of us have come together on purpose. We're here because we need to be here, and we're called. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be tuning in. We wouldn't be listening unless we didn't have that calling in the first place. So we need everyone to take their gifts to the world, because there is power in numbers. And my gosh, everyone will be so excited when they see what happens when you bring it home. You put it out, you give your gift away, it comes back, in such ways, and I'm so grateful.
So that would be your advice to people who want to manifest the positive within their life.
Yeah. Be grateful. Be grateful for all of it, no matter what it looks like to the world. They say, well, I have so much that was just all stacked against me. I would have told you that story. This is, I'm not one of the lucky ones. I don't have an MBA. I don't have this. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too tall. I'm too short. I'm too this. I'm too that. Thank God. Because all of that is going to prepare you. There's a seed for good in it. And sometimes it takes a little more sifting to find that seed for good, but look for it in everything. And the other stuff that you sift out, it makes great fertilizer. And you plant that seed for good and you nurture it. Oh, the sweet smell of success in that garden that will grow for each and every one of us is so marvelous. So no matter what it is, be filled with gratitude for it. Take a new perspective. Stand back and say, I'm so grateful for this. Somebody says, you're crazy, how can you be grateful for that? Oh, because I am, because there's a seed for good in it.
Yeah. So thank you for being just a shining example for everyone, not just women, but everyone who's been through anything. You are a true light and a divine one.
Thank you, baby.